Hello, this is John Meyer from the University of Cincinnati. Today I'm recording a topic on business and economics in correlation with Information Technology 7023, Technology of Social Networking. The paper I'm presenting is co-authored by 5 researchers at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and is entitled Do Social Networks Improve E-Commerce? A study on social marketplaces. I'll be going into 4 topics in the presentation: the summary, a background of the study, the findings from the authors, and lastly, my thoughts. So, starting in the summary of the paper, the impacts of social networks are seen heavily in communication, in search, and in the all-encompassing big data. But this paper takes a specific look at e-commerce through Overstock Auctions, a sister site to the popular Overstock.com. Overstock Auctions is unique as it utilizes both a business network and a user social network, allowing the authors to directly compare between the two. Quite often, social information from social polling via social media and a bit of peacocking, as it's seen, can determine buying habits of consumers, influence brand loyalty, and other financial decision-making of users on social media. Some notable results are the Friends of Friends, or FOF, transactions in the study provided a higher measure of satisfaction from the buyers. In the background of the paper, the authors outline the platform and its relationship to the main Overstock site. The auction house itself was started online in 2004, and there's a brief overview of the user profiles and the pages that are used. Notably, there is a reputation system in place based on purchase ratings, and that is in turn aggregated into the profile of each user and visible to their connections. The social network in turn instills trust in the opinions on the social network, and as each transaction occurs, the participants become first-degree friends. And that is only the case if a transaction itself occurs. The social network does not allow friends to be added without a purchase, and this comes into play a little bit later. Fair warning, if you're following along with the paper, I'm going to be taking some of the findings out of order, just to lead in the conversation at the end. In the details of the study, a majority of business users did not sustain a personal social network. This shows that most social users in the business aspect of it do not use the social networking components of the site. A high percentage of the users showed little overlap in the business and personal networks. This leads to a lack of desired purchases within the confines of the personal network. However, there are 6% of users that have only in-network transactions, where the opposite is true, and they only transact with their personal connections that they've dealt with in the past. This distribution also works in the overall. The categorization then becomes power users that use the service for its intended use wholeheartedly, and novices that pose a strong opportunity for the growth of the social tools. Along those lines, the business transactions are less reliant on the social network, with more than 11 hops between a strong majority of the transactions. Conversely, if a personal network is present, this reduces that number to 2 to 3, but only for about a quarter of the transactions, so it's less impactful than the 11. In the greater scheme, almost a quarter have a strong preference for past interactions. Within the personal network versus the business network, the connections can be reached in less than 3 hops, versus if you're in a business network, you would need more than 50 to achieve the same result. The personal network therefore does a much better job of achieving trust between these two partners, thus the fewer hops. So what does this mean for the company? Successful transactions are based on positive ratings left by participants. Of the 22% that use the services, there's a 90% satisfaction rate. This is significant on the social network, with just 3 hops between most transactions. the business network satisfaction tends to drop off past that 3 significantly, thus the 11 hops. The social network carries a much stronger degree of measurable trust between the transaction partners, and that's key because the psychology behind the social network comes into play. The enhancement of popularity status can be a driver for the social network usage. This provides a strong opportunity for the Overstock auction site to increase satisfaction, loyalty, and again, utilization of the tools. So along my thoughts, moving forward into this, I think that the social augmentation is a key method of gaining trust for Millennial and Generation Z users. In the future, especially as brick and mortar and e-commerce integrate more, there is a small world effect that comes into play. Thus, it increases the weight that a brand can carry in driving a financial decision, both in-store and online. And in the retail sphere, more and more, the social networks are forums for pulling and sharing purchases. This goes back to that peacocking effect. This, in turn, consistently drives more and more financial decisions, and for many brands, drives an opportunity for them to increase customer loyalty and brand trust, which in a more diversified network is more and more important. In short, as social networks continue to penetrate the market of retail and e-commerce, the benefits of increased customer satisfaction, loyalty, and brand trust will continue to affect the businesses in a positive manner. Thanks for watching.